The Bata shoe factory in Purwakarta, West Java, Indonesia, has been closed after 30 years of operation. This closure was announced by management through the Indonesia Stock Exchange, BEK, disclosure of information on May 2, 2024. The factory, built in 1894, was closed due to declining demand for Bata shoes in Indonesia, after a long journey in the industry. The history of Bata shoes, a Czech brand established since 1894, is a testament to its enduring legacy and impact on the global footwear industry. 1. Founded by 3 siblings. Bata shoes was first established on September 21, 1894, by 3 siblings, Thomas, Anna, and Antonin Bata. The company was initially named T&A Bata. These 3 founders were siblings born into a family of shoemakers, spanning 8 generations active in the shoe industry. They began their business by producing leather shoes with only around 10 workers. Bata faced difficulties initially, struggling with debts and a major crisis. During this challenging period, Antonin was called for military service, leaving Thomas Bata to lead the company. Anna was responsible for the company's accounting but decided to leave Bata after getting married in 1898. Fortunately, Thomas successfully resolved the debt issues as the leader and refocused on expanding the shoe business. In 1899, Thomas opened the first Bata store in Zlín, Czechoslovakia, and also established a factory with 120 workers. However, tragedy struck when Antonin passed away due to tuberculosis in 1908. 2. Success in expanding business by Thomas Bata. After Antonin's passing, Thomas Bata chose to continue the company they had built. He traveled to the United States to learn about business practices such as payroll systems, work methods, and inventory management. Applying the knowledge gained, Bata gradually expanded its business. By 1905, Bata was producing 2,200 pairs of shoes daily, making it the largest footwear company in Europe at that time. 7 years later, Bata had around 600 employees. Thomas Bata continued to grow the business, eventually dominating over half of Czechoslovakia's exports during 1926 to 1928. Unfortunately, Thomas Bata passed away in a plane crash on July 12, 1932, while en route to Switzerland for the opening of a new Bata store in Moulin. 3. Thousands of stores and multiple factories worldwide. By 1931, a year before Thomas's death, Bata had factories in several cities like Zlín, Otrokovice, Třebíč, Bosený, and Nové Zámky. Thomas also established Bata factories in various countries including Yugoslavia, Germany, France, Poland, Switzerland, and India. Bata shoes became available in numerous countries across Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas. Bata also entered Indonesia, collaborating with the import company NV and operating in Tanjung Priok, Jakarta. Despite losing its founder, Bata continued to experience rapid growth. In 1935, Bata factories were producing around 168,000 pairs of shoes daily with approximately 65,000 workers. According to its official website, there were about 5,300 Bata shoe stores selling a total of 60 million pairs annually. 4. Adapting to trends over time. Thomas Bata instilled strong business values within the company. Bata thrived by constantly adapting to trends and remaining competitive in the market. In 1936, Bata introduced rubber-toed canvas sneakers, which became widely used by school children worldwide, particularly in India. In the 1960s, Bata's French factory produced high-quality fashion shoes, and they collaborated on sneakers with famous basketball player Evan Magic Johnson. Bata also became known for sponsoring sports events like football, cricket, cycling, tennis, running, and golf. Bata was an official sponsor of the FIFA World Cup 1986 in Mexico and witnessed the controversial Hand of God goal by Diego Maradona. In 1977, Bata shoes were worn by Kurt Cobain of the band Nirvana. Bata continued to evolve throughout the 2000s. 5. Centennial celebration and past popularity in Indonesia. In 1994, Bata celebrated its 100th anniversary by releasing limited edition leather shoes with exclusive designs. During the 1980s to the 2000s, Bata shoes were among the top-selling footwear in Indonesia. Not wearing Bata shoes during that time almost made one seem outdated. Every new school year, Bata advertised its shoe collections extensively. It was common for many children to wear Bata shoes during its peak popularity. However, in recent years, Bata's popularity in Indonesia has declined. This culminated in April 2024 when Bata decided to cease operations at its Purwakarta factory due to continuously declining demand. The closure of this factory is also due to the losses suffered by the company since the COVID-19 pandemic. In the company's financial report as of December 31, 2023, Bata recorded a current year loss of 190.5 billion Indonesian rupiah, compared to 106.1 billion Indonesian rupiah in the previous year. Meanwhile, Bata's net sales amounted to 609.61 billion Indonesian rupiah in 2023, a decrease from the previous year's 643.45 billion Indonesian rupiah. The Ministry of Industry, Kemenperin, will also summon Bata shoe management to obtain a comprehensive explanation for the closure of the factory. We will summon the Bata footwear industry. We are confused why the factory was closed. It should have been reopened, said Kemenperin spokesperson Febri Hendri Antoni Arif. The closure of the factory also impacts 233 employees who experienced mass layoffs. PT Sepatu Bata Tbk, Bata, was forced to halt one of its shoe factories in the Purwakarta region, West Java. The closure of Bata's shoe factory in Purwakarta, West Java, Indonesia, is attributed to several factors. 1. Decreasing product demand. The demand for Bata shoe products in Indonesia has been continuously decreasing, resulting in the factory being unable to sustainably meet production needs from local suppliers in the country. The decline in demand for Bata shoe products in Indonesia has been ongoing, leading to the factory's inability to sustainably meet production needs from local suppliers in this country. This is due to various factors, including changing consumer trends and preferences, competition from other brands, and changes in trade policies and industry regulations. 2. Sustained losses. PT Sepatu Bata Tbk, Bata, has recorded sustained losses, with a current year loss of 105.91 billion Indonesian rupiah in 2022, increasing by 106.85% compared to the previous year. These losses can stem from various factors, including declining product demand, rising production costs, or changes in market conditions affecting the company's financial performance. 3. Industry challenges due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected the footwear industry, including Bata, with rapid and uncontrollable changes in consumer behaviour. The COVID-19 pandemic has also presented significant challenges for the footwear industry, including Bata. Rapid and unpredictable changes in consumer behavior, decreased purchasing power, and overall economic activity restrictions have negatively impacted the performance of the footwear industry, including product demand and sales. 4. Excess production capacity. The production capacity of the Purwakarta factory is much larger than the sustainable needs from local suppliers in Indonesia, resulting in production costs exceeding income. This has led to higher production costs than generated revenue, making the factory's operations financially inefficient. 5. Efforts to sustain operations. The company has made various efforts to sustain operations in all production centers, including the shoe factory in Purwakarta. However, increasing losses and challenges in the footwear industry have made it impossible for the company to keep the factory operational. Although the company has made various efforts to sustain operations in all production centers, including the shoe factory in Purwakarta, increasing losses and numerous challenges in the footwear industry have rendered the company unable to maintain the factory's operations to keep it running. The closure of Bata's operations in Indonesia has significant economic ramifications across various sectors. Firstly, it directly impacts the labor market by causing unemployment for the 233 workers who were laid off. This adds to the existing challenges of unemployment in the country and puts pressure on social support systems. Secondly, the closure affects the domestic supply chain. Bata's operations relied on local suppliers for materials, transportation, and other services. With the closure, these suppliers may face reduced demand, affecting their revenues and potentially leading to layoffs or reduced operations in their own businesses. Furthermore, the closure of such a long-standing and prominent footwear manufacturer like Bata can have implications for investor confidence. It raises questions about the business climate and stability, potentially deterring future investments in the manufacturing sector or related industries. The economic output is also impacted. Bata's operations contributed to the national GDP through production value, taxes, and possibly export revenues. The closure results in a reduction in this economic output, affecting the overall economic performance of the country. Additionally, consumers will experience changes. The absence of Bata products in the market may lead to shifts in consumer preferences and spending patterns within the footwear industry. This could benefit competing brands but also indicates changes in market dynamics. In summary, the closure of Bata's operations has a multifaceted impact on Indonesia's economy, affecting employment, supply chains, investor confidence, economic output, and consumer behavior. The news about the closure of Bata's shoe factory in Purwakarta presents complex challenges and considerations regarding its impact on Indonesia's future. However, there are some positive aspects that can be identified from this news. For instance, the closure of the factory could spur efforts towards economic diversification in Indonesia by shifting focus to more competitive and potential sectors in the global market. This could stimulate innovation and long-term sustainable economic growth. Overall, the impact of the closure of Bata's shoe factory has two sides that need to be carefully considered. While there are negative impacts on employment, the supply chain, and investor confidence, there are also opportunities to develop more competitive economic sectors in the future. Therefore, proper planning and strategies are needed to manage these impacts to steer Indonesia towards a better future.